Powell here, president of the Heartland Song Network. The Heartland Song Network provides many programs that are a valuable asset to the makers of music in our region. These programs are underwritten by Heartland Song Network and the many sponsors who believe in our mission. I recently sat down with one of our sponsors, Scott DeVouton, who owns Sound Ridge Studios. We had a conversation about his music and his studio and how he developed it. If you'd like to know more about how you might sponsor one of our many programs, you may contact us at heartlandsongnetwork@gmail.com or call 816-215-7148. We will be happy to give you a list of our programs and explain them to you and see if you would like to support us. Thank you and enjoy this video. Scott, thank you for being with us in the Heartland Song Network, and we really are excited to have you as a sponsor for our Song Chef series with Odie Blackman. I wanted to talk to you a little bit and ask you first about your musical background and how you got started, how long ago, and just kind of give us that evolution of Scott DeVouton and his music.
Sure. Thanks for having me. This is it's cool to be a part of the Song Network here. I've been a lover of music all my life, and just like most artists, and I started really diving deep into it about 15 years ago, and I started playing and just kind of being around musicians a lot more. I had the chance to work with a group called DeVouton Brothers, and they're an Americana band that were at that time based here in Kansas City, and helped them record one of their albums, Low Rent, at my house. And then I was also even able to tour with them a little bit, which was the touring and the festival, the Mulberry Mountain Music Festival. I had a chance to play that, and that hooked me. And that got me in. And since then, I've been playing as much as possible and practicing, getting better and better, and performing out, and then recording.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty exciting. That festival, where was that located at?
Northern Arkansas.
Okay.
Just southeast of Fayetteville, and in a place called Mulberry Mountain, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think Yonder Mountain String Band put that together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was just great, well curated, and just a beautiful atmosphere.
Yeah. So you were always into thinking about doing recording and that type of stuff. You said you helped them record their first one. And...
I did, and the first reason is I'm a songwriter and had all these songs and wanted to get them down for posterity's sake. And when I helped them record, they produced it. I was more of the getting coffee and making copies, things like that, making sure the equipment was all right. But I got to really see what recording could be like, and not only the technical aspect of it, but also the collaborative aspect of it as an artist. And it was really neat. It just opened things up for me.
So have you always been kind of working towards having a studio like you have now? I mean, has it been something that has been a progression over the years?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, as a progression. Because when I recorded with them, I had a room that I didn't know what to do with, and so I made into a little studio, and they came over and they recorded it basically in the whole house. They had the whole mic in the bathroom thing and all that. But so that was my first setup. And of course, like anything, you have your first setup, you're like, okay, this is what I do different. And then my next place, still at home, in a spare room, did things a little bit better, invested in some sound control and then the next place. And then, so finally when we just moved out here to southeast Kansas City, in the Knobtown area, last fall, and it had this room down here, this space down here where we are, still at home, but it's
Yeah.
It's a nice big space, and I saw it, and I just thought, okay, this is it. If I'm going to be with music the rest of my life, which I intend to be, I want to build this right and really commit to creativity in the long run.
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to kind of put this studio together? I mean, you're talking about equipment changes all the time, software changes all the time. The space itself took construction and all that kind of thing. So
well, started planning it the second we signed the contract for this house, because we knew, we knew it was just a great space, and what else were we going to do with it, right? And so spent a lot of time planning and figuring out dimensions and angles and what sound would be right in the two main rooms here, the control room and then the live room. So spent a lot of time planning, a lot of time pricing. I mean, I made the decision early on to focus on the space. So, the room we're in here looks the way it does for a reason, and the same as with the live room. So I invested in a good framer, hired a good framer, Matt Cathlina. He plays with the band Gully Washer here in town. And want to make sure that people had good air, so we have HVAC running through. And I want to make sure that the house didn't burn down, so I hired an electrician. But otherwise, I did everything else. I did all the custom woodwork and framing and the drywall and all the audio. And to your point of the changing technology, I mean, you don't have to be around for too long to realize things change pretty fast. And so we built it with the focus of the rooms sounding good, being comfortable, being well lit, or not well lit if you want in here. And it's set up to really adapt with technology, because I have just all the audio or technologies that are going to be audio cables going to be the same.
So have you done quite a few recordings in here since you finished?
We have, but mostly test. I have a few projects in here that come in and do some sessions, and then I'm recording some of my songs. But yeah, since we haven't focused on getting clients as artists to work with and to collaborate with and to nurture, we're breaking the room in, inviting people in to just come and listen to their favorite album on the system, and and jam. So yeah, there's been a lot of activity.
So do you find as you're doing this, and you're playing music in here and listening, and are you having to tweak it much? Are you finding that the space needs a little bit of that? Are you still doing that? Oh, I need to do this, or I need to do that.
Oh yeah, that's the chef part of it, right?
Yeah,
you stew the pot.
Yeah.
Mainly on workflow, because we built this to be super flexible. Right. So if I want, I can sit in here and record something in there, or vice versa, or sit in here and record something, 2 rooms away. But the workflow in terms of where do people like, where do they feel comfortable, where's the vocal sound good, where does an acoustic guitar sound good, and so we've been doing a lot of let's go in this corner or in this area and figure it out. And then I'm in the process of building our preamp supply. So sort of most instruments and certainly vocals, you want to go into a preamp, and I'm just waiting on a couple more of those right now. But something like that. But
it's really cool. I mean, we were down here before, and it really feels comfortable in here.
Oh, good, good.
You can go into spaces and it's not comfortable, but in here, man, it's very relaxing and
good.
And the sound in here seems pretty incredible with just us talking. So it's
That's excellent.
it's really good. So what is your goal? I mean, what is your future plan? I mean, if you could wish it the number one thing to happen today, what would it be?
Sure. I want this place to be seen as a place to collaborate and create and nurture. Whether it's an artist, I have a couple artists right now that I'm working directly with. A record label, small record label that doesn't necessarily have the space, who still wants to get a demo or a first EP or first album made for one of their artists. And even producers, even outside producers, this is set up 24 channel input, 16 fixed XLR inputs in the live room that feed out to basically anyone with a USB interface can just jump right in here and plug it in and make art, make music here.
Very good. Well, that's great. And, we hope great success for you. And I just want to, again, thank you for sponsoring the Song Shift with Odie Blackman. And when we were talking about it before and I mentioned it to you and you were like, well, yeah, man, Sound Ridge Studios, we'd be interested in doing that.
Yeah.
And you got to experience this last weekend of Odie and several songwriters, and it's quite an experience, isn't it?
To say the least. That was, as an artist, I walked away. First of all, I'm bringing a song to the next session. Because there were some great songs that went through that, and some real pros, and Odie was great. It was just a great discussion about the music, but I walked away focused, energized, and excited.
Yeah.
Which, as an artist, you take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're just so excited and pleased to have you and Sound Ridge Studios sponsor this for the next few weeks, and we plan to keep it going. And what's the future for Scott and his music?
To get this album done, the hardest album to record is your own, and so that's going to be releasing at least an EP of my songs. Leslie, who is my better half, and the other half of Flat Penny Review, she has some songs, and we have all our friends are cooking, they're cooking up their songs. Recording and. Creating
and recording. That's great. Well, why don't you give us all the information on how somebody can contact you? Because I know that there's a lot of artists out there that, they want to get into a studio. They want to feel comfortable doing their music, and sometimes the larger studios is very intimidating and can be a daunting task to go into. So give us all your information on how to get a hold of you, and a little bit more, about Sound Ridge, and maybe talk about your equipment a little bit.
Sure. Well, first of all, we have our motto is record simply and hear it well. And so what we designed to do is create the space that sounds good. And so we have, we like Shure mics, of course, and we have condenser mics and the cardioid mics and drum mics, and we have everything that I need. And I use a hybrid analog mixer. It's a Tascam Model 24. The reason we invested in it is because, first of all, it's pretty straightforward. And I can take this to gigs to record live, and it feeds to USB, which is just totally easy, and the way most things are done right now.
Right.
And right now, like I mentioned before, we just want to get people in here to see it and listen, share some of their songs, play some songs here, and we're on. People can call me at 816-550-0847. And they can message me on through our Facebook Messenger at Sound Ridge Studio.
Okay.
And it's at this point, and not at this point, but we're kind of an open-ended shop, meaning that someone has some ideas. Come on in and let's see what we can do, what you can do, how people can get their sound heard.
Well, again, I wanted to thank you very much for supporting the Heartland Song Network and sponsoring our Song Chef series. And you being a part of that is very special, and I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we'll go from there.
All right.